We're good to go, Rob?
We are.
Okay, Mr. Warden? Mr. Warden, you can start the meeting. We might have lost him. Mr. Deputy Warden, would you like to start the meeting until the warden is able to join us again?
Hello, everyone.
Oh, there he is.
Good.
I don't know what happened. She, Miss Zoom hung up on me. Okay, we'll try it again. And if I fail to on, then I'm going to ask the deputy warden to take over until we get this.
Okay, Mr. Warden, are you ready to go? Mr. Warden?
Yes?
Okay, we're ready. We're on live stream now, sir. Mr. Warden, are you still with us? Okay, Mr. Deputy Warden, I'm going to ask you to start the meeting and we'll work through these technical issues with the warden.
My pleasure, Madam Clerk. I'll call the meeting to order. Can we do roll call? Do we need to, or do you have confirmation everybody's in attendance?
We have everyone in attendance. The warden is having technical difficulties, so he will join us as soon as he's able.
Very good. Thank you for that. Folks, do we have any declaration of pecuniary interest? Hearing none, we'll proceed. We're on to item number 4, adoption of minutes. 4A is adoption of County Council and Committee of the Whole minutes dated May 14th. I believe we have a mover and a seconder, Madam Clerk.
Yes, we do. We have it moved by Councillor O'Leary and seconded by Councillor Keaveney.
Very good. Then it's on the floor. Is there any discussion?
Yes, Mr. Deputy Warden, it's Christine Robinson. May I speak?
Yes. Absolutely. Please proceed.
Thank you very much. And thank you for chairing, by the way, at this point. I would, Deputy Warden, like to separate out an item from our last Committee of the Whole meeting dated May 14th, 2020. This is in regards to the new, it was business arising from the minutes, main motion dealing with the, what I'm going to refer to as the Township of Mapleton resolution. So I'm looking at the main motion and the amendment to that motion. I would look to have a deferral on that particular part of the minutes, a deferral motion, because as everyone knows, on the agenda for Committee of the Whole, there is correspondence from the Grey County Federation of Agriculture in reaction to this Committee of the Whole motion. So I would like a deferral. I would move that motion for a deferral at the appropriate time, seeking the clerk's assistance on that. In addition to that, I would be asking for consultation with the appropriate agricultural stakeholders, including Grey Federation of Agriculture, the National Farmers Union, Christian Farmers Federation, and any other agricultural association required. And also, Deputy Warden, at the appropriate time, I would like to put a motion forward to create an agricultural advisory committee, a Grey County Agricultural Advisory Committee. Thank you. So I do have a deferral motion, seeking when that would be appropriate, sir.
So Madam Clerk, I'm going to reach out to you for some guidance here. Do we deal with the adoption of the minutes, save and accept? Do we need to have a motion to deal with everything but the, I'll call it the Mapleton portion of those minutes?
So the Mapleton motion had a clause in there that it proceed ahead of council approval. So we have dealt with that motion, and it has been sent out to the parties that it was indicated in the resolution to. So that resolution and the subsequent follow-up has been completed.
Okay, Councillor Robinson?
So what I would be looking for is additional consultation with regards to the agricultural community. I would move at this time, if it is appropriate, for a Grey County Agricultural Advisory Committee. And so two parts where we need to ensure that there is consultation with our stakeholders on this matter, and also that we could establish that committee.
Okay, so Councillor Robinson, I'm going to suggest that perhaps you give a notice of motion at the appropriate time, and that we simply deal with these minutes as they sit now. I don't think the motion to defer is going to produce anything given the comments of the clerk.
Oh, that's correct. Yeah, after the clerk spoke on that, yeah, there's no merit in a deferral if it's already been done. But in terms of consultation with our advisory, our agricultural sector through an advisory committee, I think has merit.
Yeah, and so I would suggest that it appropriately be brought as a notice of motion, and that you bring that motion forward at a subsequent meeting. Madam Clerk, does that appear to be a reasonable recommendation?
That is an excellent recommendation, Deputy Warden. Now, CAO Wingrove has her hand up. She'd like to speak to this.
Please go right ahead, Kim.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I did have a lengthy discussion with
Sorry, Kim,
Wingrove, we can't hear you. It looks like we're going to have a very interesting discussion around expanding broadband capacity today, aren't we?
Is that better?
I feel this is all a setup for that
Yes.
discussion. Are you with us now, Kim?
Hope so. Can you hear me now?
Go ahead.
Just to advise council that I did have a lengthy discussion with Hugh Simpson, the president.
Oops, lost you again. Kim, you're coming in and out as far as I'm concerned.
Is that better?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay. I had a conversation yesterday, a lengthy one, with Hugh Simpson, the president of the Grey County Federation of Agriculture. We did agree that there was an opportunity for some further communication at a staff level between Grey County and representatives of either policy reps from the OFA or members of the Grey County Federation itself. And we did agree that we would be setting up a recurring time to have those conversations. So just to let you know that, you know, we did start down that road, and there was follow-up after the resolution that was passed at the last meeting.
Thank you for that. Any other?
Mr. Warden?
Yes.
Thank you, Deputy Warden. Yes, I too had a conversation with the president of the Grey Federation of Agriculture, and certainly Hugh Simpson believes that there is merit in consultation and continuous dialogue, communication flow between Grey County and certainly Grey County Federation of Agriculture, but also the other agricultural sectors, which is why I will be bringing the notice of motion for an agricultural advisory committee. I think there is an absolute need for it.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Robinson. Are there any other comments? Sorry, am I missing something?
No, I think you're good.
Okay. Any other comments from anyone else? If not, then I'm going to call the question. All those in favor? I guess we don't need to. Any opposed, is it? Yeah, any opposed? Then I'll say that that is carried. We'll move on to item 4B, Long-Term Care Committee of Management minutes dated May 12th. Madam Clerk.
I have those moved by Councillor Clumpus and seconded by Councillor Millen.
Excellent. And I just put my finger on my computer screen trying to scroll it up, but it doesn't move when you do that on the computer. Any discussion on these minutes? Seeing none, then I will call the question. Are there any opposed to the motion? Hearing none, I'll say that that is now carried. And moving on to item C, 4C, Committee of the Whole and Long-Term Care, Long-Term Care Committee of Management closed meeting minutes dated May 14th and May 12th, respectively. And if we are to have any discussion with respect to that, we'd obviously have to go into a closed session. But nevertheless, Madam Clerk, moved by?
Well, it was moved by yourself, so I'll need a mover for
Okay.
those, and seconded by Councillor Clumpus. I see Councillor Burley, so we'll do Councillor Burley and Councillor Clumpus.
Excellent. Thank you. Is there to be any discussion there? Seeing none, I will declare that that has also passed. We have no need for closed meeting. We have no matters for closed meeting, do we, Madam Clerk?
Not for the council meeting, sir.
Excellent. And we have item number 6, 2 bylaws. Are they being moved together, Madam Clerk?
Yes, they are.
Moved by?
Moved by Councillor Millen, seconded by Councillor Mackey.
Thank you very much. Is there any discussion on either of those bylaws? Seeing none, I will call the question. Are there any opposed? I will declare that that has is carried, and we'll move on to item number 7, the good news and celebrations.
So if I may, Mr. Deputy Warden,
Yes.
what we had discussed with the warden is going by municipality, so that makes it a bit of a cleaner process. So I wondered if you wanted to do that. We could just run through the municipalities and see who has good news and celebrations to share.
Sure. So you go ahead and call out the municipality, and we'll see if there's any good news and celebrations. I guess we're going to go around the table.
I will. Township of Chatsworth.
Okay.
Nothing specifically for the Township of Chatsworth at this time, but I certainly would like to shout out a big thank you to all the long-term care workers and our senior management for the good job that's been done locally in long-term care. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anything else from Chatsworth? Guess we're moving next to Southgate, Madam Clerk.
Georgian Bluffs.
Georgian Bluffs, my apologies.
That's okay.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Warden. I've nothing really good news. There's always good news when you live in Georgian Bluffs. I do want to send out a special thank you to all our staff in Georgian Bluffs. They're doing a fantastic job. We're all working as one big team, the same as throughout the whole county. And again, I do want to send out many, many thanks to our long-term care people. Thank you.
No report on the airport, Mr. Burley.
Thank you. I was going to say, tell us about the airport.
Unfortunately, Mr. Warden, our meeting is fairly long today, and I don't want to take up a whole bunch of time because it would be a separate meeting altogether.
There you go. Very well done. Okay. So I believe, unless there's anything else there,
Grey Highlands.
moving on to Southgate. No, sorry, not to Southgate. Next is
Grey Highlands.
Grey Highlands. Thank you.
So 2 weeks ago, I'd mentioned the Rotaract Highlands and their fundraiser for the hospice. Very proud to announce that they ended up raising just over $23,000 for the hospice. And at this point now, we're trying to figure out how we can present the check to them, while maintaining a social distance. There's a few ideas floating around, but hopefully we'll have a video of that presentation soon.
Very good. Thank you. And I see that you have a clean, fresh look.
The beard got itchy. I don't know how you do that.
All right. Next is Town of Hanover.
Hanover. Yes.
Yes, everything's good in Hanover, and I just want to say we're working on an economic recovery program with a gift certificate coupon idea with our businesses, trying to infuse some cash, which everyone needs. 3 partners involved, the DIA, the Chamber, and the Town of Hanover. You buy a gift certificate, you receive 20% off. We've now reached 25,000 that has been sent into our businesses, and we've agreed to go up to $60,000 for our businesses. So we're pretty pleased with that. That's it for Hanover.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you. Owen Sound?
Moving to, well, I think we're at Meaford next.
Oh, I'm sorry, yes.
Barb, you will have to unmute.
Yes. Slow thinking this morning. Thanks, just to reiterate, that sounds like a great plan, Sue, in terms of your economic development. We're doing very well with our economic recovery and our recovery plan with our emergency control group. Just want to say what an absolute, I won't say delight because of the circumstances we're in, but how interesting and valuable and impressive it has been to work through this pandemic emergency, not only locally in the Meaford level, which has been really terrific, but throughout Grey County, and to have the results that we have. And I think the leadership here has been exemplary, and the residents are following through with the precautions, which they're to be commended for the excellent results that we've had. So that certainly is good news. As we go forward with this, I think there'll be lots of learning, of course, and of how we can maybe do things better. But boy, the routine and the process has been very impressive, and that's our good news for now. So shout out again to the long-term care. Our hearts are with the families involved, but also with the staff who are trying so hard to cope. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Klumpus. Anything else from Meaford?
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Warden. And yes, I would like to acknowledge our local chef, Gilles Hachet, who has been making meals and having them delivered to residents in the area for many weeks now. Last night, 537 meals were delivered, 349 in Meaford, 123 in the Markdale area, 6 in Durham, 16 in Owen Sound, 27 in Thornbury, and 10 in Chatsworth. So it's absolutely incredible. Many people are stepping up with donations for this wonderful activity. And I'd like to just give a shout out to Gilles and his crew and the many volunteers who support him and the businesses as well. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Councillor Keaveney. I think we're moving on now to Owen Sound.
Yeah, thanks, Owen. Cities picking up, we're having stores open, I think, as everyone is. They're all figuring out how to deal with it. I think the big shout out goes out to the Board of Health and to Dr. Eyre in particular, and all the leadership they provided. You know, we've got pretty stunning statistics. 91 cases in Graham Bruce. We're down to 85 recovered, so that's only about 6 outstanding, no hospitalization. Owen Sound's only had 1 new case in the past 40 days, so we're kicking the daylights out of the rest of the continent especially, but the rest of the province too. And, you know, touch wood, no deaths, and so I think we got to keep that going. So big congratulations to the health board on that. And other than that, nothing to report. Thanks.
Thank you, Councillor Boddy. Anything else from Owen Sound? Seeing none, we'll move on to Southgate.
Thank you. Thought I was going to speak a couple other times here today. Things are going well. The palm trees are really doing well in Southgate down here in the south end. It's really encouraging seeing some of our community groups still working at trying to plan things either virtually or distanced, including the fireworks or different things like that. They're still trying to do the things with under the guidelines. So it's really encouraging to see that. And it's nice to see some of the businesses opening up again. Even our hardware store, it's good to not stand outside and have somebody bring things to you. It's good to go in and see what you're getting. I agree that with Ian, Dr. Era and his group has been doing a phenomenal job, as well as the county and the municipal staffs. I really felt for Jennifer this over the last week when there was that false positive, because I know how much work has gone into setting up all the guidelines and protections and everything else, and was really relieved when it turned out to be a false positive. So kudos to our long-term care staff and all they're doing under the circumstances they are.
Thank you, Councillor Woodbury. Councillor Milne, anything to add?
Just a shout out to the ag community that the corn is up in a lot of places in Southgate. I'm sure in other spots of the county as well, but the farmers continue to do their thing, and food is on the way.
Excellent. Moving on to the town of the Blue Mountains. Councillor Soever, anything to add?
Yes, I think I'd also like to acknowledge Dr. Era, and we have a letter later on that I'd like to present, and I think we have done an exceptional job on the
$10
on the, yeah, well, okay, Dr. Era has done an exceptional job, and particularly our long-term care workers, because when you hear the stories about how COVID spreads in other long-term care homes, ours must be doing something truly different and much more effective, because we have had a few cases, but they managed to stem them. And I think it's great the way the community's pulled together. We have our community. We have a recovery task force here, which meets every couple of weeks, and we get input from the business community, the church groups, all the other organizations like Rotary and Lions Club, and certainly they've all pulled together. And on that note, I'd like to talk about the Rotary has an online gala fundraiser on the 6th of June. So everybody's going to be zooming into this gala. They're going to have entertainment. They'll have messages from various people, and the restaurants in town are all lined up, so people can order in their own meals from the restaurants, and they'll be delivered, and then they can put on their fine clothes and participate in the Zoom gala. So that's called Hope in the Valley, and that's on June 6th.
Very good. That's neat. Creative. Councillor Potter, anything to add?
I would just add a couple of things. One, thanks to all our long-term care homes. We stand out in comparison to most of the province for the work that's been done within our long-term care homes. I also wanted to take note that we had, through our grants and donations program, we had a community challenge, and that surpassed its goal of $10,000 and brought in somewhere close to $11,000 in a few days. That will be distributed to some local charities and community groups. Blue Mountain Village Association also had a program, and they were able to distribute about 17,000. It's much more regional, not just in the Blue Mountains, but Meaford, Collingwood, Clearview, and I think Grey Highlands as well. So thanks to those organizations, and also to our grants and donations committee for their fine work. And finally, we have the exploreblue.ca website, which is up and running, which helps promote our local businesses and events. So if you have a chance, check out exploreblue.ca.
Very good. Thank you, Councillor Potter. We're moving on next to, we've saved the best for last, right? West Grey. Councillor Robinson.
Well, thank you very much, Deputy Warden. I appreciate that. Just two things. First of all, I'd like to extend a congratulations to our clerk, Mark Turner, who will be retiring as of tomorrow. Mark Turner has had a stellar professional clerk and deputy clerk professional career, and has served the municipality of West Grey, all the councils that he served in our community very well. So I wish Mark Turner a very wonderful retirement. And I would also just like to extend a thank you to all of the Grey County workers, certainly paramedic services, long-term care, and social services, for all of their hard work during this pandemic, as well as Dr. Era and his staff at the Grey Bruce Public Health Unit. Thank you, Deputy Warden.
You're welcome. Councillor Hutchinson, anything to add? I think you're still muted, but I think you're saying no, nothing to add. Perfect, okay. All right, turning back to that's great. And by the way, please extend, Mr. Turner will be missed. He has been around a very long time. I've had the pleasure of working with him as a lawyer and as a counselor. All right, that's it for good news and celebrations. Madam Clerk, the adjournment.
Adjournment moved by Councillor Burley, seconded by Councillor Patterson.
Any opposed? I'm going to say that's carried. We'll take a short break to move next to Committee of the Whole. Madam Clerk, are we